it creates a false sense of happiness for many people. It creates false purposes for many people. They get up in the morning and their purpose in life is to actually make money, and it becomes an obsession. And a lot of people spend their lives, their best years in life, chasing money, only to get to the other side and be able to say they're millionaires, but be alone and miserable and unhappy. This is pretty much what we talked about. We've all been to more or less the same experiences. We had more, now we have less, but we have more of the happiness, more of the time that is actually appreciated, more of the time that's actually money comes and goes, and the only thing that never comes back is the time. So learning to appreciate time and be happy with little. And yeah, and try to change all this system to make life better for everyone. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
I
can go next.
I still have more time, I know, but I'm out of words.
You were very patient with the time. Yes, please, Alicia. And just remember to
yes,
weave.
I heard what Guy said about this money being a tool that can become a tool we're dependent on, and spend our lives, our life in pursuit of making more money, but that you can actually change that. And it goes very well with something said in our group. We used 4 different questions, but one was the interdependency question, which is no longer in my chat, so I can't remember exactly how it went, but the example of money becoming creating dependency instead of interdependency, and that seeds is trying to create interdependency. And there were what we call money, and it was mentioned love energy, because it gives life, time, and knowledge in exchange of money, and has different meanings at different times. But that is a really broad subject, and we couldn't find a thread originally, but it's because we have this separation with nature, because the 4th question was about what plants and animals will call money. And we talked about the exchange of oxygen and CO2, or the exchange of food versus love or pairing with cats, and that in reality the thread has to do with love and exchanges, and that it will be a really good thing to be aware that we can become dependent, but the idea is to have a system that is interdependent with nature and between us.
Thank you, Alicia.
I can go next. I mean, all right. So what I'm hearing in previous sharings and in Alicia's also, I heard, I had a sense of touching a topic of loss of connection when we are talking about money and dependency on it. And we were in group with Tyler, and we were talking about the questions of how can money connect us, and how can we think further from what money is, or the question was something like that. And we were talking about how much money actually, when you use it in the in a way, in order to empower the relationships and trust and the freedom of the other, because unfortunately money does need mean is a tool of a survival in today's society, in today's modern society. So if instead of taking it and grabbing it and having that idea that having it makes you powerful because you have a lot, and instead of that having a lot but using it to empower the other, that you might have the same values or not, but the basic idea is that you trust that by enabling somebody that you will empower the other. You will give somebody the freedom to choose to make its own life, to spread further this abundance and support and empowerment. And there was just beautiful stories there were shared, and it was that how much the legacy can lead to spreading of connections, that somebody's idea can, and somebody's the time, I'm sorry.
And you just
Yeah, but it's basically money, not because of the money because of the relationship, empowering the other, and trust, and making connections around it so that people can share its further power and empowerment. That's it.
thank you.
Sorry.
No, sorry. Just wanting to appreciate people's time. Who's next? Thank you, Augie.
I'll go next. So what Augie shared, what I understand is how can we create an economy of abundance and support and empowerment, where money is used to actually empower people to do things that they feel good about. And what we talked about is what really landed powerfully for me is first what money is and what it could be, what it currently is, and what I'm going to attach an emotion. So what money is for people emotionally. In our group, it was guilt, and I would say shame. That a lot of money was attached to not being good enough, not having enough, and the guilt and the shame that is constantly attached to like constantly never having enough, never being good enough, not having enough, not being able to do enough. And those words came about because I kind of shared where money feels just the opposite for me when I was actually at Burning Man, where it's a gifting economy. There is not even an exchange. So you can't even exchange things. It's just purely gifting. And I said, there is a feeling, I said, there's no guilt or at all, because when you go ahead and receive things, because your camp and your whole culture is designed to give, that when you do receive things, there is no guilt to receive, because you know you're already giving so much. And everyone goes with the idea that they're going to give more than they receive. So there's a play and joy and love that's prevalent throughout the whole week among the whole 80,000 people. And so it's like, so the question becomes, how can we shift from feelings of guilt and shame to play and love?
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Some real profound sharings here. Yeah, go ahead, Mark. You're the last one.
Yeah, I'm hearing from the last conversation about the emotional side of money, and the inquiry of moving from the guilt, shame, and self-worth story of money to one of generosity and abundance and unconditionality. Yeah, I think that the thread and the theme of our conversation that we had was one of presencing the separateness of money and how it's become something separate from ourselves, and how in nature, it's much more about, and that question about how would animals and see and feel about money came up, and also looking at the metaphor of the mycelium and how it's a kind of pure exchange of energies, and how the rivers flow, and it's a really seeing and feeling into that kind of human story of money, and how all around us there's a different story of nutrients or wealth, or and how we really move from one story to another.
Thank you, Mark. Well, I think it's just so powerful, some of your sharings here, and thank you so much, everyone. I'm just still digesting, but I'm also mindful of time, and we're nearly close to the end of our session, and I'd like to invite Paulo, who I'm going to, we don't need to spotlight you, Paulo, but I will. And I'm just going to turn all of us off from the spotlight. And if you could share with us what you harvested from all the sharing. So Paulo has been in the background harvesting all the sharings, all the stories. Go ahead, Paulo.
So we started with people from many places, so many cultures, many different points of the world, with a good set of intentions of openness, watching, learning, tired, abundance, presence, and motivation. And then we start writing poems that related to money, right? And we signify the words that we thought money could hold in this mirror. Then we explored in powerful questions that help us going deep on our understanding of money, expanding our understanding of money. And through our personal stories, we navigated what money is and could be, right? And where did it seem to shift? So, and Julie started by sharing that money was a sort of language that we all started to use until there was a point where we became farmers and something shifted. We thought of money as a tool, as a market, and that made us lock ourselves in false goals, false expectations, false purposes as we land into the understanding of money as a tool, which creates false realities, dependency, locks us in this false hope kind of moment, right? And money attached to very negative impressions of ourselves and the world, like we don't have enough, we are not enough. We were able still to, acknowledging that, start weaving to a more powerful expression of what money could be, the collective being that could own and provide, where we would give all our possessions to, and then money becomes a caring and loving exchange, which allow us to move into interdependency, learn how to appreciate the time we have and to enjoy it. And we could put then trust at the service of empowering others to grow into abundance, spreading connections, spreading possibilities as a liberating set of possibilities. And money as relationship empowering, ultimately. And then towards the end, we reached to these two things that I personally connect a lot: play, love, and joy of giving, which shifts completely the relation with money that we had previously on yellow, and honoring the sacredness of money, that this is the construct that we can make sacred, and that's very powerful.
Let's take a moment. And I've just shared the actual mirror board. And perhaps if you take a moment and just reflect back on our journey together, and maybe in chat, how was your experience to this collective intelligence and wisdom circle that we co-created together? Yes, it is amazing, all of this. So we're harvesting the collective intelligence in such a way with storytelling and also connection, and through the collective intelligence inquiry process. So please do share in chat, how was your experience using this new kind of collective intelligence and wisdom circle expansive? Talma, please read some of the with me. The integrates understanding. Great. Go ahead, Talma. Please do share.
Expansive. And the recognition of a great job Paulo did integrating the understanding. Guy is sharing here.
Just want to get a little bit of a feel how this was for you. It's an experiment. Yeah, surprising that money can be a good thing. And how was your experience of the process, Alicia? A 1 hour and a half process. Different aspects of money.
Love the guidance with shaking part, sharing essence, and harvesting. Beautiful. Insightful reflections, everyone. Thank you, Paulo, for capturing everything gracefully. Kelly shares. Miguel shares, love the guidance. Oh, it was the part that it was Miguel.
Yes. Thank you so much for participating. And there's something from Guy with a lot of more positive feelings. Yes. We will share some of the questions into the RE Outer Space channel. Unfortunately, I forgot, so I'm going to own up, take full accountability to record, but we recorded the stories at the end and the amazing harvesting that Paulo did. And before we end, I'd like to ask 2 questions to you guys. So would you be interested in a follow-up money session that now talks about how to collaborate around money? Now that we kind of defined money, how do we collaborate around money? So another follow-up session on that. So if you could put your hand or heart, there's a few of you that's interested. Yeah. Guy James is interested. Augie, oh, lots of hearts. Yeah, so we'll have a follow-up session. And one other last question. We'd like to test out this collective intelligence inquiry, but just for 30 minutes. You know those questions? We have a focus question, and we all come together, ask questions to the focus questions that expands our mind. And we'd like to do a 30 minutes of that for different time zones during the week. Would that be of interest for you to problem solve anything about C's, anything about your projects? Would you be interested? Either hands or heart? So we want to just experiment for maybe a month or 2 months for you to problem solve in a collective intelligence inquiry without having to argue about worldviews and ideas. All right, and we got a big sum up with Khalil. And on that note, thank you so much. We have a minute left, and I invite Talma to do a gratitude ending for us, because we are so blessed, and just for this experiment, for all of you to participate, it's just amazing. Paulo, before we go, would you like to say a word or 2?
I'm grateful for you all, because I was really somehow holding and noticing what you come up, and you came up with beautiful things that I totally resonate, and I want to mirror that to you all. Thank you.
Okay. So heading to our closing, we want to thank you all the participants for showing up, being open, and engaging in all our proposed activities. And also want to thank you, Mila, for being the inviter for this experience, Paulo for the beautiful harvesting you did, me for hosting this space, Apostle for all the support, and all the RE core team. So let's now take a moment just to be in gratitude and appreciation. And I invite you to set yourself in a relaxed posture. Take a few deep breaths. Just to center and relax. And realizing that life is this precious gift that we have been born in this period of immense prosperity, that we have the gift of health, there's so much diverse cultures, and access to all these incredible human beings that are present here today with us. So just a few seconds of appreciation. Thank you so much.
I invite you to rub your hands, send some energy, money, abundance, all to. Woo! See you next time.
Yeah, see you guys. Put your filter, Mila, for us to party in abundance.
Abundance.
Thank you, Mila.
Thank you, everyone. We'll share everything on the chat, on the RE channel.
You can unmute your mics to say goodbye.
Thank you,
Beijos.
Thelma. Thank you so much for your beautiful smile. Thank you, Mila and Paolo. You guys did a wonderful job here.